I'm Jake Horowitz, and I play Everett in the movie The Vast of Night.
And I'm Sierra McCormick, and I play Faye in the movie The Vast of Night. Well, some of the things that went into creating the unique tone, look, aesthetic of the film is the work of the director and the crew and everyone who put effort into it. Because our director, Andrew Patterson, he was very clear about his vision since I got involved, so I'm sure long before then, too. And our DP, Miguel, he was a treat and a master and really put a lot of care into the lighting and even the rest of the crew, the whole art department. They pretty much thrifted or more or less kind of hodgepodge the entire look of the film together.
Another thing that makes the tone of the movie pop so much, I think, is the dialogue and the pace of the script. Like, there's so much, kind of information about the characters and the world just in how we talk to each other and the phrases that we use and like the kind of like, bang, 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 back and forth kind of stylized almost dialogue that we have. So yeah, it's like ingrained in the DNA of the movie, I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that visually you can make a period film and it can look great, like I think ours does.
Yeah.
But I think that the dialogue makes it richer.
Yeah.
It makes it more realistic and more attainable to an audience.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, sometimes when I'm watching period film, I don't know, it can kind of get away from you
And
as
like
a viewer.
characters don't feel real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but, like,
They feel
you're
kind of like
exactly.
caricatures of people that you would have seen. Maybe paintings or photos of people that you might have seen, or they become kind of this sort of just trope.
Yeah.
And I think neither of our characters are guilty of that.
Totally.
And that's what makes the film so accessible and rich.
There's so much YouTube footage of old, like radio DJs actually, and how they sounded, and them kind of like, doing their thing. There's footage of them in their world, like flipping records, and but that was kind of my way into the world, was through the lens of someone who worked and who loved radio. This time that like rock and roll was really just beginning. You have so many new sounds in music, and like imagining someone who was passionate about music and words, it was a really exciting time to be alive.
Well, my character, she's a little. What I liked about her and drew me to her initially is that she's a little unconventional, especially for the time, because she's a girl and she's very interested in science and she's very nerdy about it, and she doesn't really feel the need to sort of hide that part of her either. She sort of allows herself to get excited about it in front of people. And so I kind of focused on a lot of those aspects of her that wasn't really period related. But what is I watched over and over like all this YouTube video footage of switchboard operators, and I kind of saw that when you're using a switchboard, those women that were really really skilled at it had been doing it for a very long time. They had this like whip fast way of just like second nature, like just plugging it in, pulling it out, plugging in, pulling it out, plugging in, disconnecting, blah blah blah. And so when I first kind of approached the switchboard, I was very like awkward because I've never seen those before in person. So what helped me was to really just spend a lot of time alone in my hotel room, like just practicing away, switchboard and stuff like that. And I actually did do a little research as well about some of the really sort of exaggerated science articles that came out around that time that were, I mean, they weren't some of them weren't too far off, as you see in the movie. Some of them were kind of spot on, but
Say we're gonna have like GPS by 1974.
yeah, something like that. I read a couple that were like by 1990 or 1995 or something like that, all aliens will be, completely like integrated into society and stuff like that. I don't know. So I read a bunch of those just to see, because they kind of amp everything up and make it super super exciting. So I could see why Faye would read that and be like absolutely like over like joyed, so excited, because it seemed like everything was possible. And I think that's kind of what I try to focus on, is that at that time, especially to her, everything the future seemed like everything was possible.
Yeah, right. Do I believe in aliens? I think that I believe that it's not for me to say, and there's so little that we probably know about everything that's out there, and I doubt that I'll see aliens in my lifetime, but
Doesn't mean they don't exist.
doesn't mean they don't exist. Maybe somebody will, or maybe I will. I believe in them. I believe in aliens.
Changed,
that's
like,
my
this-
answer. That's my answer.
Through that whole response, you like.
100%. I believe in aliens.
I definitely believe in aliens. I think it's a little bit conceited to think that it's just like the universe is so vast and and expansive, and we're just like such a small little like pinprick in this giant like map. I think it's a little conceited to think that it's just we're it. If you're scared, you gotta throw that shit kind of away. I don't know. I'm very guilty of always being afraid of failing, so I just don't start anything. And that sort of ideology has not served me ever in the past. And I think it's good to do some things that scare you. I try to do things that scare me all the time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, if it scares you, that means that you should do it, and also you should find your. Someone once told me to find your tribe, like find your people, and then just be scared together and do it and like make it happen. And like I feel lucky enough to have like found you and Andrew do this movie, and I totally feel like you're part of my tribe, you know. But yeah, find your tribe. That's my advice. Yeah.